Got some more important information to show you guys today. And of course, Bill Gates is back at it again, coming out with these statements about what the next big event is going to consist of. And this isn't even his first time doing it, obviously. He's done it on many different occasions, telling you what the next one's going to be like, telling you that things are not going to be going back to normal, right? You know, you had the Innovating to Zero TED Talk video. You had that speech from last year where he was sitting next to Melinda, right? Smirking and giggling, talking about how the next one is going to get attention and talking about how we're going to have to be ready for that one, right? And now you have this. And of course, before I posted it, I had made sure that this wasn't anything fake or made up or anything like that. But there's a few reports on it right now. It's not getting that much attention, of course. But he's now saying, apparently, that we're going to have gigantic mRNA factories in India for the next you know what. So I'm going to get right into this report, but just keep that in mind, right? They're going to have to keep the masses distracted with their bread and circuses as much as possible, like they've always been doing. And what that's going to also do is it's going to set them up to get caught off guard all over again, just like what happened last year. But with the next one, it's going to be even worse for those who aren't really taking these things seriously and not preparing physically and most importantly, mentally and spiritually. It says Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, says the you know what, which they're heavily propping up right now, heavily fear mongering about right now on the media, will make it difficult for the world to end the you know what by 2022, missing his last year's estimate in a telephone interview to TOI Plus. Gates spoke on a range of issues from you know what, doing you know what to the elderly, to creating factory capacities large enough to supply you know what's for the entire world within 200 days. It goes on to say last year you talked about the possibility of ending the you know what, and this is never going to end, folks. I want to just make this clear really quickly before I continue. This is never ever going to end as long as they continue to have most people going along with what they're told and doing everything they're told, right? It's never going to end. And there's a reason they showed you that Songbird trailer back in December, right? December of 2020. There's a reason why they showed you that. There's a reason why what's happening in Australia is happening in Australia. That's like a testing ground, one of the biggest testing grounds for what's to come for the entire world. And many other places too that I just don't remember off the top of my head. But just keep that in mind. This is never going to end because this is all a part of their plan. And as long as they have most people going along with it, that's just going to keep the scam going more and more for them, right? Or easily, however you want to say it. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. But it goes on to say everyone has been surprised by the you know what and how transmissive it is. India was the first place where there was tragically explosive growth in cases. The number of cases has come down from that peak, but we have to get these you know what's out far more broadly than we have done so far. And that's coming. It's already happening right now. The crackdown with that's already started. It's happening with the jobs. It's happening with restaurants. It's happening with gyms right now. It's happening with movie theaters, right? And it's only a matter of time before it happens with the grocery stores. It says the foundation is very proud that back in the spring of 2020, which was around the time where he talked about, yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, and made that warning, right, on that video. We got $300 million to Serum Institute of India. Serum, however you say that, I believe I'm saying it right, actually, has executed very well on ramping up the volume, making really record numbers of you know what's. Now, we wish we'd have been more. Reading's messed up right now. We'd wish that we'd have even more, but in the months ahead, we just zoom in a little bit. Numbers are going to go up quite a bit. Of course, that's what they're going to keep saying, right? Novavax will come into the picture. We'll have J&J. We'll figure out what can be done with the booster. Also keep that in mind too. I just remembered that It's not just going to be two of them, right? You know what I'm referring to. It's not just going to be two, but it's also going to be a third one and a fourth one and a fifth one until their game plan, their you know what agenda is successful. Look up Georgia Guidestones if you don't know what I'm referring to. It goes on to say we're not quite sure about that right now, but that's probably beneficial as we get into 2022. I'd say Delta, I'm going to skip over that, that anyone has ever expected. You guys can see what it says. And so we probably will have cases into part of 2022, and the importance of getting the you-know-what coverage up very high is even more clear now. My prediction based on you-know-what is that we'll miss that goal somewhat. So you guys pretty much get the point of this, right? This whole scam that we've been dealing with for the past almost 2 years now, is never going to end. And I'm also starting to see more stories about, the thing they're talking about, right? NIPA, right? NIPAH, or however you say it. Also known as Disease X, starting to be talked about more. But continue preparing yourself, folks, because it's going to become more and more important as time goes on. And as you get closer and closer to the next big event and the big crackdown that's coming. So I thank you guys for watching this video. And I don't think I'm going to really keep this video up for that long. For obvious reasons. I said some things that definitely would probably trigger the algorithm. But I'm going to post this on my Odyssey page 100%. But I'm going to also post it